Hi everybody, we're back at home now with that painting that we bought up in the Central Coast. And since I've been home, I had time to do an awful lot of research about this painting. There's a lot here to understand. I'm going to start with the basics. Basically what we know is we have an oil on canvas. It's got a little damage. There's a mark right there, but otherwise pretty well done. Very muted palette. A strong signature here, but the signature is illegible. Very difficult to read. And I'll come back to that in a moment. I was able to identify the scene. Now, back at the antique store, I called this Moret, and it's not Moret. Pronunciation is Morro. This is the Garonne River looking at the town of Morro. And the artist, although the signature is difficult to read, I know the date. Very clearly, this is done in 1930. And below, he underlines his name, and below that, he puts the location, Morro. So we know those two things. This is the difficult part. Reading this name was almost impossible for me. So what I had to do was I had to make a comparison. I compared the letters inside the town name Morro. So we know that this is a U, this is an R, this is an E, that's a T, the beginning is an M. Using those letters as a template, I compared the letters in the name with those letters. For example, I believe that's a U because it matches the U in Morro. I believe that's an E because it matches the E in Morro, and so on. And doing that letter by letter by letter, we were able to deconstruct that signature. And I believe now the artist's name is Théophile Gruer, 1930. Now there's a couple of more things about this painting that's very interesting. The palette is restrained, very restrained. And that means this isn't a Sunday painter, this isn't an amateur painter, this is someone that is a professional painter. And we know he lived at least in 1930. And based on the strength of the palette and the sensibilities, I think this man was middle-aged. Looking at the back of the painting now, I can see that this is of the period. Remember, this was painted almost 100 years ago. So the canvas looks age-appropriate to me. Oh, there's another little hole there. And this is where they fixed that boo-boo on the other side. The stretcher is definitely of the period, and the frame is of the period. The wire is kind of a dead giveaway too. So this is all about 100 years old. This is absolutely right. This painting dates to 1930, and it reflects such a well-developed, mature sensibility that I think Théophile Gruer was likely already a seasoned painter, perhaps in his 50s when he did this. This places his formative years around the fin de siècle, when Impressionism and Post-Impressionism were no longer radical movements, but the working language of serious painters. What makes this work special is how close it sits to those movements. It shares the same visual vocabulary and a discipline of observation. It's not every day you can get this close to a post-impressionist for less than $420. So despite how excited I am about the fact that he was in close proximity to the Impressionists, or more probably the Post-Impressionists, I'm going to try and realistically value the painting. So we know it's Théophile Gruer, we think, based on the translation of his name, transliteration of his name. Title is The View Across the Garonne River. Not the Bayonne River, as I said in the Antique Mall. I realize Bayonne River is in Quebec. This is a province in France. Signed and inscribed, Morro, 1930. artist's name may or may not be Théophile Grouer. It's French school, Occitanie, I think. Condition appears good with the exception of that one little defect there where some of the paint is scratched off. Palette, excellent. It's on a period stretcher, and I think that frame is of the period. So this is an original painting by a regional provincial French artist, and I would value it not based on its proximity to the post-impressionists or impressionists, although that's a very exciting connection. I would value it, a retail value between $1,200 and $2,000. Insurance value, probably I would insure that between $3,000 and $5,000. So as you can see, even though the painter is almost anonymous, there's still value in these hidden masterpieces. So happy hunting to you all. So if you're going to go out there looking for old paintings, historical paintings, remember the 3 tips. Look at the front, look at the back, look at the frame. And I wish you every success. Maybe you'll find that hidden masterpiece that's still out there. If you watch this video all the way to the end, you're the person who I wrote my book for, A No-Nonsense Guide to Buying Art. You can find it in the link in the description below. Happy hunting.